The person out there who hears that this is what you want to do, and then he hears you sing Kill the Boer, certainly that person must be alarmed. He must think he's going to suffer some prejudice, isn't that so?
I didn't sing Kill the Boer.
Shoot the Boer. Please.
I didn't sing Shoot the Boer.
If I say shoot the Boer, kill the Boer, injure the Boer, hurt the Boer, I've referred to the same song. You know what we
I didn't sing Shoot the Boer, hurt the Boer, kill the Boer. I sang Tule Boon.
Alright, let's use those Zulu words.
Yes.
It is possible that you could influence people to go out and do what you say.
We do influence people.
Yes.
Yes.
And they also do
we
what you say.
We influence them positively.
They do what you say.
Yes.
Yes. And they will try to do anything possible in respect of and to advance the national democratic revolution.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Saying and singing are two different things. They do what I say, not what I sing.
Yo, my name Louis. This is my sport, LuiSpot.
This is a court. It's not a political gathering. It's not a show. We're not talking to the gallery. We're not speaking to the cameras. And please don't give political speeches. Answer my questions straight, and let's get to the nub of this matter that I've been waiting to take you to for a long time.
Okay.
So if you sing Dubulu Ibulu, and a person who's on a farm understands the Zulu and he understands what you sing, and he understands what you've told us today, and he hears what you say about taking farms without compensation, do you think that person is not going to feel worried? Is he not going to think that he's going to be prejudiced in some way?
If that person understands Zulu and understands our struggle, will never be scared, because that person will know what we mean by Ibulu.
So you say the person whose land is possibly going to be taken with no compensation, he's not going to be worried. He'll listen to that song and he thinks, well, Julius Malema says we want to take the farms without compensation, and he sings Kill the Boer, or Shoot the Boer, or Ibulu di Bunu. But I mustn't be worried. I'm not going to be worried about my future and my situation. That's what you say.
The two are different, my lord. Taking the land and singing Ibulu Bunu are two different things.
Mr. Malema, let me just explain to you what this court case is about, because clearly you don't understand. It is about the context in which the song is sung. That context means that His Lordship must test not what you say. His Lordship must test what my clients think. When you sing Dibula Ibulu, together with the policy statements and the political statements you make about taking farms. My clients are farms. It's about that. It's about them seeing the picture and how they react, sir.
But with respect, that's a matter of argument. We'll argue about it. Let him put what his version is to the witness. But what the case is all about, the matter that will argue to your lordship at the end of the day.
Well, let him put it. Let's hear it, Mr. Maleta.
Well, this case is different.
Mr. Duplessis,
Please,
just hear it.
please.
So the context has been put to you of a person who hears the words, understands them in the context of other utterances made, and becomes afraid.
My lord, Dubuli Ibunu, when it is sang, we have explained the context. But he says to me, here is a person who is a farmer or in a farm, who's hear you singing Dubuli Ibunu, and hear you saying you are going to take the farms, and this person is scared. The person will not link the Ibunu to the farmers and the farm, because a farmer in Zulu, if that person knows Zulu, will know that a farmer is not Ibunu.
What is it?
Umli. And my song is not Dubulu Umlimi, it's Dubulu Ibu.
Now, you were taught to shoot with a gun at 30.
Yes.
And you had a gun with you at 30.
Yes.
An unlawful gun.
Yes.
And you were prepared to act unlawfully at that time.
Yes.
And you were actually what one could call in the African context a child soldier, is that not right?
If you say so.
Yes. And that seems to be typical of Africa, using children to fight wars.
No, my lord, with respect, that's the worst misplaced proposition which anyone in the best traditions of the bar can ever think and conceive of putting to a witness without any factual foundation.
Well, my factual foundation is witness and evidence.
It's very inflammatory, Mr. Jefferson.
Well, Lord, it goes towards the context. Let's just put this straight, Mr. Malema. What we are talking about is we are talking about the perception that people have outside this courtroom of you, of what you say, and how that should be interpreted. Not how you say you interpret it and what you mean, how it should be interpreted outside. Now it's important for those people outside to know who you are. And I put this in that context to you. You were prepared to act as a child soldier for the ANC.
I've always been a young pioneer of the African National Congress.
And you were at that time, 1991, 2, 3, taught by the ANC to be a child soldier, isn't that so?
I was never trained child soldier. I was a young pioneer.
Young pioneer, 13 years old.
Yes.
But you were taught to be that.
Yes, young pioneer, yes.
You were taught to shoot people.
Yes.
And you would have done so if the instruction came.
Yes.
At 13.
Yes.
Yes. It is 20.2% owned by Africans, 44% by whites, 1.03% by Asians, 9.37% by coloureds or coloured people, and then the surface area owned by the state constitutes 25.33%. I put that to you. You dispute the correctness.
I don't agree with that.
Well, I put to you this is the only survey that has been done in South Africa on this basis.
As far as we are concerned as the Youth League, the majority of people who constitute 90% of the population of South Africa own less than 20% of the land in South Africa.
And they should have 90% of the land. That's what actually...
It must be shared equally.
Yes, equally. So
Yes.
10% must own 10% and 90% must own 90%.
The land of South Africa must be shared equally. And no apology about that.
If it's equally, 10% must own 10% and 90% of the population must own 90%. That's what you are working for, sir.
If you are good on percentages, you can go to that point. The point I'm making is that we must all have equal share in this land because it belongs to all of us.
Yes. You don't want to answer my question. No.
I'm answering it.
Yes. No, you're
Not on percentages. I don't want to reduce this argument into percentages and then I'm told that no, you have actually distorted percentages.
Yes, it's because of policy that's changing all the time in this revolutionary state of ours.
There's no policy.
When it doesn't suit you, just change the policy.
No, there's no changing policy. In a revolution, things are going to change.
Change all the time.
Change.
Yeah,
It's
all
only
the time.
change itself which is not changing.
Yeah.
But everything changes.
Everything else. Lord, at some stage I'm going to ask that somebody takes a visual on the persons who are laughing and that they be asked to leave the court.
We'll deal with it.
Thank you. Now, sir, and to achieve this policy that you now are going to put before the ANC, not the policy, this plan about the land, have you made a plan about how to achieve that?
We need to pass a legislation
Yes.
that says the
Yes.
government should have power
Yes.
to take over the land where it is in the interest
Yeah.
of the public
So
without compensation.
So government must drive around, identify a farm, send the government trucks, load the white family onto the government trucks, drive them out of the farm, and then take over the farm. That's what you propagate.
No.
Now what? How then? How else?
That will be anarchic. That will be
All right.
chaos.
How are you going to do it? What's your
We
plan?
need to find the method within which, including the involved family, appreciate that the land which they sit in is required by the public to be utilized on the basis of public interest.
And if they refuse to go off the land,
We take it.
you just take it.
Yes, we should take it.
That's what President Mugabe has done, isn't it?
No,
Exactly
he has done that, but the method was wrong.
He didn't
He has
legislate
done that. You see, let's put it very clearly. If it is in the public interest, we shouldn't even apologize about it. We should tell you, we need this land, and we want to utilize it for public interest.
Are you only going to take land of white people?
Where we find land which must be utilized for the public interest, color doesn't matter. We need to take that land.
So land that has been transferred to communities in terms of the Restitution Act that are not used, you will also take.
Those communities, for sure, they will be more than willing to hear that government want to utilize this land for public purposes.
Can you tell us what your political ideology is? The Youth League's political ideology?
We subscribe to the National Democratic Revolution.
Yes. And that revolution is about what?
It's about the transfer of power from minority to majority.
No, it's not just that. It's
No,
more
I'm
than that.
I'm
It's to
telling you.
transfer the means of production to the people, isn't that so?
Transfer of power, maybe your question should be which power? Political, social and economic power.
Well, let's look at economic power.
Yes.
The transfer of economic power, therefore the means of production, to the people to be shared by them, isn't that
Yes.
so? Yes. Well, what is that different from communism, sir?
If you want to call it communism, you're welcome.
Is it
Mine
communism?
is the National Democratic Revolution.
Do you agree with me that it's communism?
I don't know. You say so. I say it's the National Democratic Revolution.
Well, I put it to you, it's communism.
That's your interpretation of communism.
Do you know what a revolution is, sir?
Yes.
What is it?
Taking power from the ruling class to the working class.
Well, sir, the most accepted political definition of a revolution, I'm going to put it to you, is from an American political scientist, Mr. S.P. Huntington, who said the following: a revolution is a rapid, fundamental and violent domestic change in the dominant values and myths of society, in its political institutions and social structure, leadership and government activity and policies. Do you agree with that?
No.
What do you don't? What is your view different from this view? How do you differ?
Mine is a transfer of power from minority to majority in a manner that is democratic.
All right, so you use democracy to achieve the communist ideals, isn't that so?
I've never said I stand for communism.
Now, well,
That's
don't
what-
you stand for communism?
I use democracy to achieve the objective of the National Democratic Revolution.
Do you disavow being in favor of communism, the ANC Youth League? Do they
I
disavow?
thought you said we must not talk politics.
No. I said, sir,
That is a
Remind
serious
the
political
audience in the
discussion.
gallery, please, to remain calm.
please, because it is distracting my cross-examination.
No, I understand
Every
that.
time somebody laughs
Mr.
here,
Duplessis,
Yes.
I accept that, I understand that. And again, I request the gallery to participate silently.
I asked you not to make political speeches, not to answer a question that can be answered in one sentence in a long speech. That's what I asked you. I'm asking you, do you disavow, does the ANC Youth League disavow being communist?
The National Democratic Revolution is a concept which was designed by the International Communist Party for revolutions which were neither socialist in character or were capitalist in character. Those revolutions in their immediate seek to deliver democracy to the oppressed nation. And that's what I subscribe to.
Yes, do you know what communism means, or does it not help me to pursue this issue?
I don't know what communism means.
Okay, all right, so then I won't ask you further about that. Then the revolution you talk about. The revolution was first a revolution of violence, and then it is now a different kind of revolution, isn't it?
Ours has never been a violent revolution. It has been very peaceful.
It was an armed
No,
struggle.
from 1912.
It was an armed struggle, sir. Do you dispute it?
No, I'm struggling. We agree to it.
Yes, all right.
Yes.
Well, we agree to it. We know
Yes.
that. But the revolution is now different.
We're forced, in fact, to take up arms. It has never been our character and nature.
You're not answering my question.
You need to
I'm
let him
asking-
answer, Mr. Duplessis. You're interrupting him.
Oh, my Lord, he's going to waste my time. That is what...
Well, we're not going forward unless you debate in a gentle manner, more gentle manner.
I'll try, my Lord, but it's a bit difficult.
And if answering questions, my Lord, is called wasting time, I don't know what I must do now.
No, you must just answer my questions.
I'm doing that. You're saying I'm wasting time.
Mr. Malema, it doesn't help to debate this.
Right.
We need you to deal with the issue.
Thank you, my Lord.
The revolution today is not an armed struggle, am I right?
Yes.
The revolution today, however, still exists.
Yes.
It's going on.
Yes.
Right. Would you agree with me that the revolution is a continuation of the revolution by other means?
The revolution continues.
By other means?
Yes, yes, absolutely.
Through legislation, as
Yes.
you've testified.
Yes.
Well, do you know who Lenin was?
Who?
Who Vladimir Lenin was?
No, 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 no.
You don't know who Vladimir Lenin was?
Mm-mm. Lenin.
Lenin, yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to read you what Vladimir Lenin said.
Okay.
He said, war for a communist state is the continuation of the revolution by other means. Now, you still agree with what I put to you, or do you want
Yes.
to change your
Yes, I hear you.
You agree with me?
Yes.
You agree with that statement?
Yes.
Now, the people out there must therefore understand the policy of the Youth League on the basis of what you've told us and on the basis of what you say the policy of the Youth League also entails.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I understand it that the policy of, well, not policy, let me put it differently, the ideas that the Youth League put on the table are ideas that may not yet be policy of the ANC,
Yes.
may not yet be policy of the ANC Youth League. It is still
Yeah.
being discussed.
Yes.
The land reform issue falls in that category.
Yes.
The nationalization of the mines, does it fall in that category?
That is a policy issue
That's
of the
already
youth league.
policy.
Of the youth league, yes.
In other words, it does form in that category.
Yes, I understand. So, and in respect of both the nationalization of the mines and in respect of agricultural property, these assets must be taken to be shared amongst South Africans,
Yes.
and the people who own them should not be paid their value for it.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
the idea of
Yes.
both those
Yes.
principles. And the reason why you want to achieve that is to get an end to colonialism in any form that still exists.
Yes.
And the people who own farms, especially the whites who own farms, they're still part of an old colonial system, isn't it?
The ownership still reflects the colonial patterns of ownership.
Yeah. And those people who do not support the new democratic state and the national democratic revolution, they are today's oppressors.
Yes.
And they are the people who must be targeted by the ANC.
Not people who must be targeted. The ideals which they subscribe to must be targeted and they must be defeated.
But therefore, the person who holds those ideas must be targeted, isn't it?
No, targeted might mean something else.
No, let me
Yes.
put it differently.
Yes, yes.
That person must be focused upon. He must be the person who must be persuaded. Isn't
Where
it?
these ideas emerge, which seeks to reverse the gains of our revolution, they must be defeated.
They must be defeated.
Yes.
And the people who espouse those ideas, their views must be changed.
We need to seek to change their views.
Their views,
Yes.
Mr. Malema, you are an important man, isn't it?
Oh, no.
Not.
Mm.
Being the youth member of the ANC Youth League, the president of the ANC Youth League, that doesn't make you an important man. Is that
No.
what you say? Oh, all right. But still, you want to be radical.
Come again?
You want to be radical.
I lead a radical organization.
You are radical.
Yes.
You are revolutionary.
Yes.
You want to achieve something.
Yes.
You want to achieve as much as possible for the revolution.
Economic freedom in my lifetime.
Yes. You want the Freedom Charter to be applied with.
Yes.
Want the Freedom Charter to be applied. And you want to be remembered one day as a great leader. Isn't that so?
No.
Not.
No, I'm not in a struggle for self-importance.
All right.
I'm here to play a role and live.
And you walk on the forefront of the revolution.
Not in the forefront.
Yeah, it's the Youth League who's placing all the debates on the table. It doesn't come from the ANC, it's the Youth League.
It has always been like that.
Yeah.
You must read the history of the ANC.
Yeah.
It's always been like that, my
And
lord.
it's expected of you to do.
The first generation of the Youth League in 1944 changed the ANC to be a radical organization. The ANC was a very peaceful, gentleman type of an organization, relying on deputation, delegation to the Queen. And then in 1944 we said we must fight. And that's when we introduced the radical program of action adopted by the ANC in 1949, which included armed struggle.
I understand these things. I've been through the struggle in my life.
No, I'm
Been
talking
through
about the history of the ANC.
I understand the
You have
struggle.
never been part of the ANC. You don't know
I'm
the
not
ANC.
part of the ANC.
Yes.
Now, sir, and these people who are farmers whose land are now taken, what must they do?
They should participate in the land redistribution.
Yes, but what must they do? How are they going
What
to
is
earn
what?
How are they going to earn an income? Now, I want you to tell us,
Look,
what the position is, because the people out there are frightened, sir. They want to know from you. What is the plan?
they have no reason to be frightened. We are engaged in a democratic debate.
Yes, democratically take their land, don't pay them, and they must
Democratic
go and get a
debate.
job
If you are
somewhere else.
scared of democracy, then it means you are something else. You don't belong here. We believe in democracy in South Africa, and therefore we have introduced a debate, and we are not saying we are correct in that articulation. We are prepared to be persuaded otherwise, and we are persuading people to support us. If you own 83,000 hectares of land alone as a family, and we say to you, can you please share this land with these 50 extra families? Why do you refuse to share with people who also belong to the same land?
Because you worked hard to earn that land, to buy that land.
Let's not go back to working hard.
Right,
Our
sir.
people were forcefully removed from this land.
Do you understand what democracy is?
Yes.
Tell me about one real democratic state where people went in and took other people's land without paying them.
Zimbabwe.
You regard Zimbabwe as a democratic state.
What is Zimbabwe?
That's the example.
It's a democratic state.
Yeah. All right.
They've been holding elections every 5 years.
Oh, I see.
They've been electing government of their choice.
It doesn't matter that all the
And they've been electing President Mugabe time and again.
So don't interrupt.
So we can't impose government on them.
I'm asking you now. Don't interrupt me. I want to ask you the following question. International monitors did not find elections in Zimbabwe fair and free. Now, is that the example that we're going?
I gave you that example. If you are not happy, it's your own problem.
Well, there are lots of other democracies that I can think of. Ghana, I can think of Uganda, I can think of Zambia, I can think of Mozambique even, I can think of Malawi, and that's just in Africa. Then I can think of Germany, France, Italy, Spain, England, America.
Is doing what, Mr. Jefferson?
Being democracies who don't take people's land without paying them. That's what I can think of. But your view is, and that's what the ANC Youth League says, we must follow Zimbabwe. That's what you say.
I can think of Zimbabwe which distributed land. You may not like the example, but that's the example I give you.
Yes. Now, the person who hears this, Mr. Malema, you will certainly agree with me that anybody who sits on a farm and he hears this will get along.
No, you have got no reason to be alarmed. We are not going to use the Zimbabwean method. We said that time and again.
The person is not going to be harmed by losing assets. Or what is you saying? What are you saying? I'm not talking about physical violence. I'm asking you, is he not going to be harmed in any way?
What are you saying? What are you saying about those who were harmed when they took the land? What are you saying about them? What are you saying about people who live in this country and don't have land? What are you saying about people who were forcefully removed on their land? Landowners turned into slaves. What are you saying? What are you saying?
It has always been the policy of my client that land redistribution should take place on the basis of this country's constitution, sir. And this country's constitution provides for payment of a fair market value of the property so taken.
That's what we're saying. We need to amend that section which speaks about that.
So the democratic...
And the amendment, if you can also give me a chance to respond.
Sure, sorry.
And the amendment you are talking, the constitution you are talking about, if it's going to be amended, it's going to be done through a democratic means.
Yes.
So if this policy is calling for hurting of people, harming of people, then people through democratic means will reject the amendments of the Constitution. It doesn't mean that when Section 25 says we must take the land and compensate, therefore moving forward we cannot change that policy. Secondly, you and me sitting here, we know that government has accepted that the willing buyer, willing seller policy has failed. We should have, my lord, redistributed 30% by 2014. It has not happened.
Also,
the targets have failed.
The South African government, ANC government, has done lots of things that are unconstitutional, and many of their laws have been found unconstitutional. And this that you're propagating, I guarantee you today will be found unconstitutional.
No, we start by amending the Constitution so that when we pass the Act, it's not unconstitutional.
So the agreement at Kadesa, the agreement to live in a spirit of reconciliation, that is going to fall away because you're going to change the Constitution to further the national democratic revolution, because you can't do it by democratic means.
You see, sunset clauses have served their term. What the Youth League says, my lord, is that we need sunrise clauses. The time has come where we need to re-look into the compromises we've made. And we're calling upon everybody to be a participant.
Yeah.
Yes.
You see, on that basis you may even change, the ANC may even change all the provisions about the judiciary so that you only have a judiciary that serves the ANC, isn't that so?
My lord, there is no discussion document of the Youth League which speaks about judiciary. So far we have released a discussion document that speaks about land redistribution and nationalization.
But you testified this morning, the revolution is also about changing the dark forces of the judiciary.
We need to transform the judiciary, and that is what the ANC says, and there's no reason to be apologetic about it.
So anybody who's against the ANC cannot become part of the judiciary because that person will not serve the ANC. That's what you're saying?
Anybody who's not prepared to serve a democratic South Africa and is still hanging in apartheid system, that person does not deserve to serve judiciary.
I understand. All right, that person. So there are certain persons who are excluded. So there are certain persons who may want to come to this court to say something is hate speech, but because they are white and they don't support the national democratic revolution, they are arrogant to be here and they're not allowed to be here and they shouldn't be here. Is that what you say?
Hate speech case and a person who supports apartheid policies and want to continue with those policies are two different things. Unless you are telling me now that you brought a hate speech case because you believe in apartheid.
No. We know that the UN is sending a delegation to South Africa to investigate Boer genocide. Don't we?
I don't know that.
4 murders, sir. That is seen by the Afrikaner community as Boer genocide.
No, I don't know that. And I will be very happy if they can come, send delegation to investigate farm killing, not farmers killing, farm killing.
But
And,
why?
and see how many farm workers are being killed there.
Why are there so many farm murders in South Africa? A person on a farm has 700% more time to be murdered than anybody else. Why?
I don't know.
I'll put it to you.
You
Why?
ask a Minister of Safety to analyze the dockets for you of what has been the real reason behind the farm killings.
I'll tell you what. It's to intimidate farmers to give up their land without compensation. That's what is behind farm murders. I put that to you and I will argue that.
And when you kill a farm worker, you intimidating the farm worker to take over the farm of a farm worker. No.
The
Farm workers are being killed as well.
They are the people normally who are loyal to the colonialist farm worker. They are the farm workers who are killed, sir.
And who's killing them?
I'm asking you.
Yes, they are killed.
Because we
Their
are wondering
majority,
what's
they are killed by their farmers.
There are international people out there, and that's what I'm showing to you, who think South Africa, the Boer nation, is undergoing a genocide.
Will extend their mandate when they arrive here. Please investigate also the killing of farm workers who are killed by their bosses because they refuse to pay them.
Just hold on, don't be in a hurry. Subscribe to my channel right here and watch the other videos. I'll see you in upcoming uploads.